Hey, what's up? It's our son, the God, Spotlight on Women's Hoops. We got a lot to cover today, but first, before we begin, a word from one of our sponsors. Hey, what's up? It's our son, the God, Spotlight on Women's Hoops, where we cover everything women basketball related, NCAA, Unrivaled, WNBA, and anything that's happening with Team USA national teams. Um, Sorry, took a week off. Um, yeah, we've been going hard. A lot of things going on. Juice isn't on right now. He's in the studio tonight. And Ella is still on personal leave, but the Globetrotter is coming. Um, she got some things going on right now. But she supported me when I was going through a tough time. So we are reciprocal operation. If somebody's going through something, that person got our full support. So, but Voltron is gonna be assembled real soon. But just want to come on briefly, just give an update on what's going on. Commissioner's Cup Championship is July the 1st, and a lot of players are in Eurobasket. I'm gonna give an update on what's going on with Eurobasket in this broadcast right here. Um, yo, let's give a quick update on what's going on in the WNBA officiating still sucks. But Sophie Cunningham is winning through all the melee that happened last week in that Connecticut Moon game versus the FIBA. Sophie Cunningham jersey sold out. Would you believe that? Sophie Cunningham does a WWF finishing move and her jersey sells out. Hey, wow, what a time to be alive. And shout out to one of my fellow Philadelphia Eagles, AJ Dillon. He's one of the people that bought a Sophie Cunningham jersey. Shout out to AJ Dillon. Shout out to my Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, we're gonna make another Super Bowl run. You can believe that. Now I agree that the officials need to step it up. But let's look at it like this. Maybe the WNBA refs feel like 16,000 to 50,000 isn't enough to get all the calls right. Let's just look at it like that. The glass is not just half full, the glass is half empty. All right. 425 per game. Yo, America, worldwide. Let me know what you think. 425 per game on average is what a WNBA official makes. That's not bad, but considering what, you know, an NBA official might make. I don't have the figures for what an NCAA official makes. I'm sure like a Power Five conference is more than like your mid majors and everything. But let me know what you think. Now I know some people who for 425 per game, they'll get the calls right. Um, you know, now the physicality in it, that's a whole nother lane to explore. However, when we get to actually officiating the game, getting calls right, if there's a charge, call that charge. If there's an actual foul on a shot, calling those. All right. Kathy, Kathy. Everybody know who when I say Kathy, she's over the WNBA. All right. I don't have to get into her whole name and all like that. Kathy. Yo, let's not use referees off of Sheen or Temu. Okay. Now, I was down in Unrivaled. All right. First year of a new friend of a new league. There was no problems with officiating. There was no problems. A call was made. It was 90% of the time it was the right call. If they had to go to the booth to make a review, they went to the booth. It wasn't no extended time. It didn't seem like nobody was unsure. Hey, ain't the Nafisa. Hey, Brianna Stewart. Why not, you know, let the W use the officials you had. The officials y'all had down at Unrivaled, yo, they got it right. Professional, they knew what they was doing. I'm just trying to help solve the problem because Becky Hammond just came out. Stephanie White, she made some remarks about the officiating. The game is moving up, the talent is moving up, but the officiating is going down. So, rising tides supposed to lift all ships. Rising tides lift all ships. So, come on, we got to get the officiating right. Now, if you want to keep the physicality like we playing on the playground, that's cool. All right. However, I be looking at a lot of calls where it be a foul, and I'm like, yeah, it wasn't no contact on that shot. Y'all call ticky tack stuff, but won't call major stuff. Y'all call some major stuff and still call ticky tack stuff. It's no consistency across the board. I don't know. I don't know what needs to be done. I say, me personally, I say referees for the W should come from Power Five conferences. Cancel season, baby. That's my remedy. Because when I look at an NCAA game, of course, the referees are not going to get every call. We know that. However, I think it's safe to say that when we watch an NCAA game, especially a prime time or a top 25 matchup that has significance when it comes to seeding in the tournament later, or it comes to position in a respective conference. They get the top officials. They not getting the official who only got like 5 games under their belt. No, for those games, they got the official who got some skin in the game and got some tenure. Now, the Commissioner's Cup is July 1st. That's next week. That's next week. Please don't have a rookie referee. Please don't have no referee that's off of Temu. Please don't have no Temu referee because we don't need an incident like Game 5 in the championship last year. Yeah, I'm still on that. That was no foul on Stu, but it's all good. Nafisa and Stewie are best friends. They're co-owners of a damn good league, and they went to UConn. So Husky won regardless. So, shout out to Gino. But yo, let me know what y'all think in the comments because again, officiating sucks. The physicality is cool, but come on, let's keep the concussions down because that's one reason why a lot of players stuck with basketball because that was some contact, but it wasn't football contact. You know, I never heard of a concussion in basketball. All right. Now, fine list. Um, just give a quick update on Spotlight on Women's Hoops fine list. As of today, nobody on the fine list has been imposed a fine. Ain't had to kick out no money yet. All right. Now, um, again, none of our players have been penalized, but these are the players to date who have been imposed fines. Sophie Cunningham, $400 for her flagrant two. Caitlin Clark was imposed a fine of $200. Tina Charles has been imposed a fine of $200. Marina Mabry, I thought she should have been ejected, but the Temu refs let her stay in the game. She got a flagrant two. That's $400. JC Sheldon, she got imposed a fine of $200. But after what happened to JC Sheldon, I probably would erase the fine. Lindsay Allen, she just caught a stray. Lindsay Allen wasn't doing nothing, but she got imposed a fine of $200. Now let me just give an explanation of the fines for everybody out there. This is how the W imposes fines. All right. $200 for technical fouls for the first three. So if you get 3 technical fouls, that's $200 per. All right. Now, text 4 through 7 is $400. Once you get up to technical foul number 8, it's $800 plus a 1-game suspension for each one after number 8. All right. And flagrant twos are $400. All right. So techs are 2, flagrant twos when they get upgraded is $400. Now, once you hit 8 techs, $800. And plus a 1-game suspension for each one after 8. So once you hit 9, woo, but hopefully nobody on my list gets up to that. But 1-game suspension plus the $800. So, it behooves you ladies to just play the game. Just play the game. Yeah. So texts are 2 for the first 3. Once you get to 4, that's 400. 8, 800. All right. Now, if you want to know who's on our fine list on who we will come out the pocket for, just take a look at the Instagram page, Spotlight on Women's Hoops, and also our X page, SLO Women's Hoops. And I'm gonna post that on YouTube as well. I'm gonna post a video of the fine list on YouTube as well. Spotlight on Women's Hoops. Subscribe to all on social media pages for all updates, scores, and we will be giving highlights as well. That's coming soon. Now, let's touch on Eurobasket. A lot of well, I'm not gonna say a lot. There's a few European players on your favorite teams that took a little leave to go play for their national teams. And next week, AmeriCup is going to be starting as well. Now, in Eurobasket in Group A play, France ran the table in Group A with a 3-0 record. And Turkey ran the table. Well, they didn't run the table. They ended group play 2-1. Now, on Tuesday, France has to play Lithuania in the quarterfinals, and Turkey is going to be playing Italy. So shout out to Janelle Saloon, one of my picks for Rookie of the Year, in that Rookie of the Year race, and Lila Lacan of France. They got to go against Justy Josite of Lithuania, and also Tierra McCowan and Sevgi Uzun of Turkey. They got to go against Cecilia Zandassini of Italy. That's on Tuesday as well. But again, Italy and Turkey on Tuesday, Lithuania and France. So those games will be going on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we got Belgium versus Germany and Czechia versus Spain. All right. So shout out to Julie Van Loo and Julie Alleman of Belgium, and shout out to Leona Fibic and Miss Geisel Soder of Germany. All right. So shout out to some of our favorite players who are in Eurobasket. Good luck, and hopefully y'all make it back to the W with no injuries or anything like that. All right. All right. Now we're gonna move on to the Red Hot Valkyries. Let me take another sip of my coffee. I got drink. I'm normally not an evening coffee drinker, but I got a lot of updating to do. Um, I gotta handle the top rookie list. I'm a little late on that, and um, on Tuesday is sophomore Tuesday, so I'm gonna be working on the top sophomores. So I'm gonna publish that together, the top rookies and the top sophomores. All right. Now, Red Hot Valkyries. See, y'all thought that when the Valkyries dropped that game last week against Dallas, that I seen some stuff on the message boards, the Valkyries are fluke and all like that. Nah, the Dallas game is just an anomaly. You're not gonna win them all. All right. You're not gonna win them all. All right. All right. You're gonna draw one. Hey, and plus the Valkyries is without Janelle. All right. That one of their top players. Hey, she's in Eurobasket. Okay, so that was some scoring production that they were lacking, but they still play hard against Dallas. Okay, but again, they shook that off and they came back and clocked the fever. Now, yeah, when they clocked the fever, a lot of heads was like, WTF. Mm-hmm. I was I took my glass. I'm not gonna tell you what was in my glass, but I just sipped my glass like, yeah. They knocked the fever out. Then they came back and blew out pause the Connecticut Moon, which ain't a surprise. Not a surprise. The Connecticut Moon, I doubt if they win another game this year. They may win 2 more games this year. All right. Then now they host the Liberty on Wednesday. I'm tempted to roll with them money line, because I think Jonquel Jones is still going to be out. So without Jonquel Jones, the Liberty is a different team. All right. I don't know. I'm tempted to roll with a money line on Wednesday. It's my solar return. So hey, it may bring me a good return if I roll with them. But like I said, right now, the Golden State Valkyries are 7-6. They almost to my prediction of 15 wins. They halfway there. They halfway there. Now, let me just give some context as to why I said that the Valkyries, before the season started, would defy all expectations and get no less than 15 wins. Just look at the roster. Just look at the Valkyries roster. Everybody that's on that Valkyries roster are hard hat players. They're utility players. They are players that play hard. They play 40 minutes. A lot of those players on the Valkyries, if you look at their minutes per game, 20, 12, but those are players that when they're in the game, they're giving you 100%. All right. They're hard hat players, utility players. All right. So from Kayla Thornton, um, Tiffany Hayes. Tiffany Hayes was a former six woman. We saw what she when she came out of retirement and played with the Aces, what she brought. Kate Martin. We know what Kate Martin brings. We know what Tammy Fagbin-Lay brings. All right. So that collection of players, I'm not even getting on to the coach, just the players in general that are not rookies. All right. When I look at that roster, all I can say is this is a different team. This is not like a regular expansion team. Then you bring in a coach who was a top assistant of the Becky Hammond, Natalie Nakasi, who's able to inject confidence, motivation, and then when you as a coach get full buy-in from the locker room, when you get buy-in from player 1 to player 12, all right, you can't lose. Even if you lose, you still won because you don't wore that team out. The team you played, I don't think that I'm gonna have to go back and check. I don't think the Valkyries have ever gotten blown out. So even in a loss, they still won because they got valuable film where they can go and be like, we need to fix this. All we got to do is tweak this. Oh, we wore that team out. you know, so, and they fight every loose ball because they know they're an expansion team and they know that there's not a lot of expectation. All right. However, when you see them play, they play hard. They hustle. They are a bunch of hard hat players. They hustle. They are players who historically have been known for hustle, grit, and grind. All right. Then you bring in a coach who comes from a winning culture. You can't lose. So that's why when I looked at that roster, I was like, hey, this is not like a regular expansion roster. The when the expansion draft happened, excuse me, when the expansion draft was going on, and the players that the Valkyries selected, I had a light bulb like, this was a well calculated expansion draft. Now, I'm gonna post when they're gonna have the expansion draft for this year because we got two new teams coming into the W next year. We got Toronto and we got Portland. So a lot of eyes is gonna be on that expansion draft. Now, Kathy, I know you got a lot on your plate. Especially you're trying to fix this referee thing. All right. We need to get to 15 player roster spots. All right, 15 rosters, 15 player rosters. I gotta dig that back up and bring that back to the forefront. Rosters need to be 15, 12 active, and if you want to have three, three just laying in wait or whatever, you need to mirror the NBA. The NBA has 15 roster spots. You need to do the same. It's too many great players who get cut. They gotta go somewhere else. They just sitting back chilling. They still working out. I be on everybody's Instagram page and everybody be working hard, like the players that got cut. But then when you get down like 2, 3 players, now you got to bring somebody up on a hardship deal and all like that. Nah, 15 roster spots. 15 roster spots. Now, and we need to get more teams. Now shout out to Dunn. Dunn is leading the charge to get a team in Philly. There's no reason why there should not be a team in Philly right now. Okay, Philly is a hotbed of talent. It's a basketball city, and right now the 76ers ain't doing shit. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Philly gets a team and Philly, um, you know, does that thing. And if they find a way to make Dunn the general manager of a Philly team, you can cancel Christmas. But I know I'm getting off subject. But next year, Toronto, Portland, hopefully the Nashville team will get green lighted. Shout out to Peyton Manning, Candace Parker, and everybody else who's part of that group trying to bring a team to Nashville. All right. But we need 15 roster spots. Okay, that's bar none. All right. That needs to happen like for next year. 15 roster spots, because there's a lot of players who get cut. And then this is another thing. What about all the players? There's plenty of players. I'm gonna publish a list later on this week of players who was top performers last year, but over the offseason sustained season-ending injuries. So what's gonna happen when they get a clean bill of health from medical saying that they're clear to play, like on Houston for Seattle last year? She was ruled out this year. So now Seattle is stacked. All right. What's going to happen with Houston? All right. I like to see Houston in Chicago. All right. Let me get back to a real subject. I'm trying not to talk about the Chicago ground. Yeah, I'm back calling them the Chicago ground. Tyler Marshmallow. Let me get back. Valkyries are hot. All right. Valkyries are hot right now. So I don't know if Vegas have moved up the win total for betting purposes, but if it's still at 10 wins, you need to go and put that bet in now before the lines change. Because right now the Valkyries is hot. All right. Another team that's hot. The Mercury. I believe that's why it's a heat wave across the whole country right now, because the Phoenix Mercury, even without Kalia Copper, Kalia Copper just recently came back. But before Kalia Copper came back, the Mercury was rising. And last week they beat the Ageless Aces, and then they beat the Connecticut Moon. Now, that's not surprising. All right. But then the next day, on a back-to-back, after going in Connecticut and taking down the Moon, they beat the Liberty. Then they beat the Chicago ground. All right. Now, that Chicago ground game, Chicago, y'all got to work on that perimeter defense. That's one of the things that's holding y'all back. Y'all cannot defend the perimeter. I'm talking about the threes that Phoenix was throwing up. I thought Phoenix was shooting a McDonald's commercial. I seen so many arches. It was like, I don't remember what the percentage from three was in that Sky Mercury game, but I'm talking about y'all can't defend the three. McDonald's. Hey, if y'all, I think y'all should take some of the footage from that Chicago Sky game, and no, because y'all partnered over Angel Reese for the Angel Reese meal, so that'll be a conflict. So take another game from Phoenix where they light it up from three and some of the rainbow threes and make a golden arch, and use that in the commercial. Because I thought y'all was shooting a McDonald's commercial with the Phoenix Mercury. Because I'm talking about some of the threes that they were throwing up. All I saw was some golden arches, and my marketing mind was like, "Yo, I wonder if McDonald's got something to do with this." But anyway, the Mercury got the Liberty this week, so we're gonna see if they're gonna uh, repeat everything. And they got the Liberty at home, so I know it's gonna be rocking in Phoenix. So yo, Satu, shout out to Satu, shout out to AT, shout out to Kalia Copper, who's back. She looked like she's in regular form. So right now, I gotta look at Phoenix as my number two team coming out of the West. Coming out of the West, I gotta look at Phoenix to challenge Minnesota right now. I'm still not out on Seattle. So right now, that number two race is gonna come down to Seattle and Phoenix. So let's see who comes out victorious in that battle. Now the Lynx got the Mystics on Tuesday, Sparks in the Sky Tuesday as well. I don't know how to call it. I don't know if Kelsey Plum is still out. I haven't checked any injury reports as far as how it affects Tuesday. I did put the Get Well card out for Get Well Sunday. Plum Dog was on it, but I didn't look at her date to be back. All right. Now, I said I was not gonna talk about the Chicago ground. All right. But I can't. I cannot. All right. I know I made some remarks last week about a online petition to have Tyler Marsh fired. All right. I still got it. I haven't posted it yet. Excuse me. I haven't posted it yet. All right. The reason why I haven't posted it yet, because, excuse me, I'm kind of conflicted. All right. I'm kind of conflicted because, it's not that many minority coaches out there. I, when I look at the decisions he be making on the court, as far as personnel and play calling and stuff like that, I'd be like, man, this dude gotta go. But then, I can hear my ancestors in my ear saying, "Yo, don't," you know what I'm saying? That's your people, you know. You know what I'm saying? I hear Michael Evans in my ear saying, "Yo, Jive, dude, man, that's messed up. You want to see another brother without a job?" But then I'd be like, "Yo, Michael, look what he's doing to Angel Reese and Camilla Cardoza and Ariel Atkins. You know what I'm saying? You being Jive too, you know." So I'm conflicted, I'm caught between a rock and a hard place. But then I look at the players on the court. You know, the players ain't making it no better with the turnovers. Cause Tyler Morse is not out there turning the ball over. I have to look at that too. So even though I still have the petition, I'm not gonna break it out yet. All right. However, this is what I want the Chicago ground to fix. All right. Chicago, please, for the love of God, all right. And I'm rolling with y'all. I look at y'all like a home team. You know, you know. I have mad family in the city of Chicago. Gary, Kankakee, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Hopes, the Lilies, the McGee's, and the Liddells, you know? But this is what I need Chicago to fix. Please fix this, Chicago. If y'all can fix this, all right, this is the keys to success for the Chicago Ground. So I can stop calling y'all the Chicago Ground. All right. Now, I got a little graphic that I started working on the past couple of days. What kind of ground each player is, you know? Because when we talk about ground, that's earth, dirt, or whatever. But like we learned in science class, there's levels to the dirt depending upon the composition and how sturdy and solid it is. You know, like Angel Reese and Cardoza is bedrock. That's that rock you need like hella dynamite to break up. You know, granite stone. Tyler Marsh is quicksand. All right, so it's levels to solve. All right, but the keys to success for Chicago. I need Chicago to fix perimeter defense. Defense around the perimeter, you got to work on that. All right. That's killing y'all. Now, the main thing I want Chicago to fix, and this is 50% of what I need fixed, the damn turnovers. All right. The turnovers. The only turnover I want to see is an Apple turnover. All right. That's the only turnover I need to see coming from Chicago. And most of the turnovers is coming from passing. I see too many turnovers where the pass ain't even calculated. Sometimes the passes look telegraphed between 2 and 3 feet. I'm like, why are you making that pass? Or you in the paint and you're trying to pass in the paint. When y'all do film study, I don't know how much film study y'all are doing, but passing, 75% of y'all turnovers come from errant passes. Passes to where y'all are either telegraphing the passes where, come on, man, that person knew you was going to pass right there, or you shouldn't be passing in traffic like that. Fix that. All right. Coach Marshmallow. Not sticking to what works. Not sticking to what works. And a lot of that happens when you build a lead or you going shot for shot with whoever you playing. And you start pulling starters out, sitting them, not bringing them in. You're trying to experiment with different lineups at the wrong time, and then whatever lead you had starts evaporating and is gone, or whatever close margin you have, i.e., that last Atlanta game, or the last two Atlanta games, and you don't stick with what works, and then 4-point deficits end up being 18 and 20-point deficits. Coach Marshmallow, come on, man, get it right, B, get it right. All right. Bannerman Nurse. Some of y'all threes that y'all take are too quick. Y'all get cross half court, one or two passes, here goes a three. No, get in rhythm. Get in rhythm. Y'all are rhythm 3-point shooters. All right. Get a rhythm. Work that ball around the horn. Pause. Move the ball. Get some good ball movement. When I notice when y'all have good ball movement, y'all get good point production. But when y'all just come down and start shooting, just shoot up anything, move the ball around. I think y'all need to slow the game down. Now, I will say, I have been noticing y'all have been getting out of transition more because y'all are able to cause turnovers. Defensively, y'all do a lot of things right. Y'all do. All right. But turnovers when y'all are on offense has to come down. 18 turnovers a night, 20 turnovers a night is very few times where if you get that many turnovers, you're gonna win. You got to be shooting over 50% or close to 50% from 3 and 2 to be able to win when you got that many turnovers. All right. And the turnovers y'all be making, I just sit there and I have to walk away because I'm like, yo, this is some of this stuff is AAU type stuff, fourth, fifth grade type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Making the pass direct as a matter of fact, not like no, you know what I'm saying? You got to be direct with them passes. You got to be well calculated with them passes. You can't telegraph them passes. So, in a nutshell, drop the turnovers down. I know the perimeter defense is gonna be a process, but first, my goal is less turnovers. Let's start there. If we can stop turning the ball over, because if you stop turning the ball over, that's going to give you that many more opportunities to get shots off and make baskets. All right. Just think if y'all average 10 turnovers a night, because right now y'all averaging like 20. All right, close to 20. Let's just say y'all cut that in half and y'all can convert those turnovers that y'all got rid of into points. That's like another 20 points. Come on. Now you see the math. We drop the turnovers down. That's going to increase shot opportunities or maybe opportunities to go to the line to get some freebies. All right. Now, FIBA 3-on-3 World Cup is going on right now. All right. Man, there's a lot of basketball going on. And yo, Spotlight on Women's Hoops, we are working day and night to give you the coverage. Yo, even though Ella isn't on, she be feeding me stuff to make sure that hey, this is what happened. So she keeps me up on super producer juice as well. On the 24th Tuesday, USA has a game, two games. They got a game against Czechia, and they also have a game against the Netherlands in 3-on-3 World Cup action. All right. So that's what we got going on with the FIBA 3-on-3. And on the 25th, the 3XBA tournament that's a part of the Spokane Hoop Fest. Those brackets is going to be published on Wednesday. So once the brackets come out, I am going to post the brackets for everything that's coming from the Spokane Hoop Fest, and I will be giving you updates on some of your favorite players who are going to be playing in the Spokane Hoop Fest. But right now, that's all I got right now. So like and subscribe on all social media platforms, Spotlight on Women's Hoops, and Hassan the God out.